Yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to the Mike the Ref Twitch stream. AEW Dynamite Sidecast edition here tonight. Good to see everybody here once again. We are on a roll here right now for having streams out here for you guys to enjoy. And I'm glad that each and every one of you stopped by here, whether you're checking it out live, whether you're checking it out on the YouTubes or the VODs. YouTube, it will be up usually around 2 hours after the show's done. By the time I end up rendering the video, cut out that little intro in the beginning, and then cut off the last little bit on the back end, just make it a little more compact for you guys. But yeah, you know what's amazing that there is drama, then there isn't drama, and drama seems to be going around in circles these days. Like, let's face it, the biggest news right now this week in wrestling is the signing of Jade Cargill. And as well, they've also brought in the person who did Jade's song in AEW. She's going to be doing the theme for her in WWE. So, wouldn't surprise me if they use the same one, sort of like what they did with Thea Hale. I wonder which copyright guy is going to get fired for that, because Jody Threat's theme is what they used for Thea Hale on NXT yesterday. So, be interested to see what changes going forward either way. So, but yeah, tonight we are 1 week away. Hell, not even. We're like 4 days away from AEW Wrestledream from Seattle, Washington. And yeah, we're still getting a semblance of a card put together. We got some great matches already booked for the show. We'll talk about that on Saturday. I'm going to come on here on Saturday and we can discuss what's going to be going on with Wrestledream here, as well as we do have our last hosting gig of the year at Beercade YEG here in Edmonton. If you guys are interested in watching the pay-per-view. Full Gear will not be shown. It'll be at, I'll be here with you guys at the same time. So, but yeah, looking at the card, and I just pulled it up here. I think the most shocking, like right now, technically the only 3 matches booked that we know about. A 4-way match between Penta, Matt Jackson, Orange Cassidy, and Austin Gunn. Where the hell did that come from? And then, with all the attacks of Willow Nightengale from Julia Hart, they're finally going to get to go one-on-one. That was the earlier one. Earlier tonight, Rey Fenix got cleared. And of all people that is getting the first shot at the International Championship, J-E-F-F, J-A-R-E-W-T. That's right, it's Jeff Jarrett. And yes, I just butchered that one to no end. So Jarrett's getting the first shot at the title, and with the fact that it's been well known that it was an audible call that Phoenix win the title because Mox knew he wasn't going to be going. I wonder if this is going to be another title change going into Sunday. And frankly, Moxley's injury basically put Wrestledream's card all in a flubber, according to Tony Khan, which, let's face it, wrestling, it always happens that way. So let's not even get started. Sometimes you do it on your own. Sometimes injuries do it to you. The thing about doing it on your own, WWE basically canceled a NXT North American title match with a budget cut last week. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that and what happens with No Mercy on Saturday. Quick programming note before we get started here. Saturday's stream previewing AEW Wrestledream, Ugh, sorry, my brain's all over the place. We'll be starting around 9 o'clock after No Mercy's done. There's no use trying to have, while we have Collision on as well, it's no use trying to, if you want to come in and check things out, I'd prefer to give you guys a chance to check out the rest of the AEW or the WWE PLE before we get into all the wrestling. So, yeah, join me here on Saturday for that. Friday night, we're going to get into EAFC 24. That gets released on Friday. Fortunately, I got to work, so it's moved from a daytime stream to a nighttime stream. And then, yeah, Saturday we will, we might actually fire it up in the afternoon too. We'll see how things go. I want to see, maybe we can get 2 in. Sunday, there won't be a stream. Bills are playing the Dolphins. It probably was one of the more fun games this year. And then we're hosting the watch along there. And then next Monday, we're going to make our debut of Swerve and the Lost Demon. The Bayonetta prequel. We'll give it a try, see how it goes. They say it's going to be about 16 hours to clear, so hopefully we can get it done in the month of October here. And then from there, like I said, we might be going to God of War Ragnarok. We'll see. Or no, God of War, sorry, not Ragnarok. Because I want to get through the first one before I do the second one. But yeah, wrestling-wise, the only other thing to make note about right now is the whole Serena Deeb story. And for those that aren't familiar, there was a lot of questions lately about Serena Deeb not being on TV, and apparently there's some heat backstage with her in regards to, they say she's complaining about showtime or how long her matches and matches getting cut, and Tony shutting that down as fast as possible, Tony Khan, with telling him that wrestlers don't know the times of their matches until pretty much close to showtime, because they, just in case anything gets changed, they don't want to make anybody feel left out or whatnot. So, and then you do some digging. And as much as I hate politics, politics goes everywhere. I believe Serena Deeb is either married or in a relationship with Marty Scurll, which has made a lot of people uncomfortable backstage. That I'm just reading up articles like Fightful and WrestleOps and all the websites that are a lot smarter than me when it comes to dealing with stuff. And I'm sorry, Party Marty might be a friend of the Bucks and Omega in a way, but that's going to make that locker room way too uncomfortable. Sort of the way certain Charles Martavius Punkage did. And you see what happened there, that situation. So there's too many. It's sort of like what happened with CM Punk. There's too many bad things lining up. And the biggest problem right now is the fact that you don't want to, after you get rid of one bad apple, you don't want to start getting the reputation of all your rosters done about a bunch of bad apples, right? So I get why everybody's being extra cautious on talking about this, but at the same time, I'm sorry. There's one thing we've learned over the last year. If we've been following everything along that's been happening here, where there's smoke, there's fire. And it seems that there is a little bit of plumage going on with a lot of these characters here. I don't want to say it's the method of the of AEW, because I swear WWE has the same thing. They have to. Like, there's going to be some people there that just don't get along. It's just the PR machine of WWE doesn't allow that to get out anywhere. It's like Fort Knox of personalities there over at the old WWE box. So I've been on the indie scene where people don't get along, but they still work. Hell, I've been in a situation like that too. In my commentary days and whatnot. And yeah, you just, as long as it doesn't get portrayed out to the public, nobody really cares about it, to be honest. Nobody really worries about it a whole lot. And here we go. The show's about to start. Wonder what they're going to book tonight, because like I said, they got a contract signing, 2 interviews, and 3 matches announced. So this could be an absolutely spectacular date, or this could be a real... Maybe they're going to have 2 60-minute Iron Man matches going on. Or a 60 and 230s. So they're in Denver, Colorado tonight. Oh, wow. I wonder what was just there last week. So who do they have first? Oh, Phoenix. All right, with everybody cheering, I would have loved to see them put on Jarrett's music. And all of a sudden, the crowd just... You want to talk about a crowd dying in a hurry? Well, Phoenix is over, and like Zodiac mentions in the chat all the time, give Phoenix all the titles. All the titles. Every last one of them. Do not miss go. Do not collect $200. Give him all the titles. I've always stated that he doesn't need a title, but there's never anything wrong with him having one. He's just that much of an entertaining person here, so... Oh, you can see he was doing some cupping earlier this afternoon. So his back could be needing a little adjustment in tunage. And now Phoenix gets to go 1-on-4. Or 1-on-5, whatever way to call it. Depends what... Well, I guess Kara gets involved quite a bit. So, yeah, I would consider this 1-on-5. I would almost like to see Lethal in this match instead. All right, well, that's a way to start the match. But I guess Jarrett's sort of the, how do I put this politely, the emergency blanket of AEW. If you need a heel to get something over, you need... I don't want to... I love these... They're 2 separate wrestlers, but they almost have the same role. He's almost the Miz. Like, Jarrett's always been the Miz of whatever promotion he's in. Whether it be Oh! That's great. So, Aubrey, are you going to throw him out? Oh, that was funny. That was funny. He got carried around the throat. Then all of a sudden, yeah, no, this is a woman. Maybe I should calm down. 3-way blind eliminator for an international title shot next week. Okay. That makes... I guess they're just trying to advertise that nobody got any notice about it. Which it sort of plays up to the kayfabe reason why they only had 3 matches announced tonight going into the show. So, are they going to try and set up a 4-way tag over at Wrestledream or something? All right. Going into crotch chops and how many gimmicks are you getting into, Jared, all at once there? Oh, that was a bad camera angle on that one. Ugh. That's hilarious. Satnam is literally like Fenix standing up on the ropes is almost Satnam's height. The way it was filmed there, actually, I like that. It was the main shot at the front that just drove me nuts there. But yeah, watching Jarrett's already busted open. Like, we're not even 5 minutes into the show, and we already see blood tonight. That's always great. And I think somebody in production's really royally screwed up because now they're redoing the entire reel of upcoming matches during the picture-in-picture. Like, you're doing it 30 seconds apart? Like, what? Are you trying to, like, emphasize all these important parts that you guys have going on here, or what? So we've had four matches announced tonight, so I gotta feel we're gonna get one impromptu one. Gotta be nice to see Willow and Julia get the main event spot tonight. And the reason I say that is because what the main event the main event segment for tonight is probably going to be the contract signing between Page and Swerve. Mainly so everybody can do the little dance before we get going here, so. But I would figure the main event match for the evening might be the women's match tonight. Because I'm looking at all those other ones, like, if the blind eliminator would have been formally announced, maybe. Hey, Mr. Vic, how you doing tonight, sir? Yeah, buddy. How's it going tonight? I'll be honest, I'm a little confused tonight about the card, and I'm doing fine. You know, life's doing good, and, you know, getting old is always a thing. Watching Jeff Jarrett get the customary first title match after a face wins a title, always great. Always excited for Phoenix, absolutely. Like, I think we naturally put in this for that. It's so funny. I've been so busy. I haven't even had a chance to update my soundboard the way I wanted to tonight. Ugh. I am going to find a few more sounds that I can put in here for it. But, yeah, other than that, see the rest of the card. Like, I love that they have a blind eliminator match for the number one contendership for the International Championship tonight. Like, they randomly told 3 people out in the halls, yeah, you're getting a shot at the title, but you're not going to know who your opponents are until showtime. I believe that is Booker speak for, wow, we don't have anything booked, so we're going to put you 3 together, and we know you're going to be facing Phoenix next week. Well, that was... Ha! Aubrey just gives Karen the old shoveroo. So Aubrey's getting over. Wow, you're like a minute behind me, sir. I'm watching it on TSN, which I'm assuming is the regular feed, right? So yeah, coming up on Saturday night, just as everybody's as the Wrestledream logos are coming up, Saturday night after No Mercy, I'm going to come out here. We're going to talk a little bit about Wrestledream, have the card set up, give thoughts about what's going to happen with it here. Unfortunately, Andre is working, so might be running this. Oh, that was a stiff kick. Phoenix, are you going to really try to go that far? And here it comes. Low blow. I love how Sanjay just pops randomly into the ring when he thinks matches are over one way or the other. So yeah, you're about a minute behind me here, sir, so... Now let's go for the stroke. Oh my God. Phoenix goofed. Oh. Phoenix is not having a good match tonight. Stylistically, I don't know what's going on. I hit him in the knee. Phoenix looks hurt, but good on him for the quick roll up there. His hip is not being in a very good mood tonight. Phoenix versus Chad Gable, the underrated wrestler of all time. Hey, I still don't know whether you want to call Phoenix underrated. Just for the fact that even if you watch tonight, like as you're watching along, like he gets over with the crowd, he does some spectacular stuff, but sometimes when he misses stuff, he misses stuff. Like trying to do that spinning heel kick in the corner. Like the X-Pac karate. Uh-oh. So we're going to show 6 different replays of Adam Cole breaking his ankle. I still laugh at the fact that Max has done everything that he said he was going to do. He said he was going to choke out Joe. He choked out Joe. He said he was going to beat Darby with a headlock. He did. Okay. I swear this music sounds like the 80s. Oh, God, here we go. No. Oh, wait. What? That sounds like a mafia thing to do. Ah! What did he pick up? The Captain Insano hit a dinghy? The All right. We just literally jumped the shark. Wow. Okay. I think we've officially jumped the shark when it comes to literally and figuratively because they're on a boat. So Callus, so is that scar permanent for him? It actually makes a lot of sense. You know, once that scar heals, he's going to magically turn back into Kenny Omega's best friend, and he's going to claim that it was all a brain injury and all that. We all know Don Callis is brain injured at the best of times here, but yeah, that segment with MJF and Cole, like I'm sorry, that went 16 different ways sideways that I didn't expect. So, yeah, I'm just thrilled to see where it goes. Hey, Zodiac, it's been interesting today. By the way, good to see you. You Phoenix versus Jeff Jarrett, so you know the usual shenanigans. It looked like Phoenix had a bad hip throughout the whole thing when he came down, so ended up winning with a small package. If you get a chance, go back and check out the Adam Cole MJF skit with a guest appearance by Captain Insano. Yeah, that Captain Insano. And yeah, other than that, we all win with small packages. I appreciate that one. I enjoy that. Thank you. And good to see you tonight. Yeah, it's weird tonight. There hasn't been much booked for the actual show. They did announce that they're doing a quote-unquote blind eliminator number one contenders match, which I guess the premise is three guys didn't know they were going to face each other till the start of the show. It's going to be Brian Cage, Claudio, and Nick Jackson. And the winner gets to face Phoenix next Wednesday. I'm going to guess that's probably going to be Claudio that wins it. Just because they want to get that BCC revenge for Mox. Or else they got to move that story around. Because apparently, according to the dirt sheets, which I know dirt sheets, yes. The loss by Moxley there and the subsequent injury has severely changed tonight's episode of Dynamite as well as Sunday's Wrestledream, which, if you ask me, it's it's, you can ask a lot of people. I think they say this. One of Tony Khan's biggest faults, and I think Zodiac, I think you're the one who mentioned it last week as we were talking, that it was one of the biggest faults of Tony Khan is the fact that he can't pivot when stuff happens, when it comes to his booking. So we were talking about that last week because I was talking about how great AEW was in terms of their booking. And yeah, now we're getting to see the I don't think he can. Yeah, that's exactly it. So this is why he wasn't at Okay. So is Don Callis like the new Mikhail Gorbachev? Oh, this is going to be a fun match on Sunday. I'll as much as we talk about it, Jericho, Omega, and Ibushi. Three guys you would never expect to have together. I'm totally expecting to see Will Ospreay come out here right away. It's funny. He has something to say and nobody cares. And Renee's just, you are a freaking moron. So does, oh my God. Look at the Tron, folks. No more superhero. Wouldn't Don Callis be more appropriate for Scarface? Because I don't think Guevara has any scars on his face. Just seeing the font in the background there like that. The only thing this is going to accomplish for me is holding off Guevara getting up into that main event spot right now, which actually might not be a bad thing if they're a little top heavy. Okay, so yeah, Ospreay is official for that match on Sunday. But yeah, to me it's pretty obvious right now that Guevara is that top pillar that they were talking about. And this is just a way to filter him into, a little lower tier trying to move up. Oh, great. The guy looks so enthusiastic. 2 minute, 2 minute. Oh, there's a Bushi. And this is where Callis gets involved with an umbrella. Really? And he just hit him with a dumbbell. Thought that would be Callis would be the only dumbbell he'd have around him, but, you know. Parasols are vicious. If you play... Oh, yep, fair enough. Forgot about the magic of the parasols. So do they have to have somebody different involved? Renee's like, yeah, screw this. I'm out of here. Really? Chris Jericho's the villain in all this? All right, I want to see that. I want to see this light. Well, the crowd knows certain words. I know it's supposed to be a very, very Christian place there in all Colorado, but one thing I've always learned, and this is one thing you look for in a lot of movies and such, the villain always thinks they're the hero of their own story. All right, that's an interesting promo to say the least. Oh, so they're going to show Starks and Danielson now. I heard it was absolutely insane, this match. I love the fact that they have a Texas death match and Starks came dressed appropriate for the moment. Really? Okay. Can you tell that Danielson's rubbing off on Yuta real well when it comes to this promo? Oh. Interesting. And it's funny, it's so simple to book that one. It's like you didn't even have to worry about it. So is this the 4-way or the 3-way? Ah, it's the 3-way first. So I'm trying to like the best way to make sense of it. I'm sure the commentary is mentioned, and I skipped it because I was chatting here. But the winner of this match is going to get Phoenix next week, and they're calling this a blind eliminator. Just call it a freaking number one contenders match and be done with it. Fans don't care that much. Like, Tony sometimes also likes to overthink, too. Oh, the last 6 months. Here's one other thing I love. How much more Brian Cage has gotten on TV here in the last 6 months? Like, let's face it, he hasn't won a whole lot. But at the same time, like, the amount of appeal, like, when they were in Edmonton for the AEW show here, just a few months ago here during the summer tour, they, the kind of pop that you got for Brian Cage and Big Bill as a team, it was wow. Yeah, I agree. That's TK's other issue. He writes too much for him. I just think he overthinks. I know that's one of the biggest problems I have with TK is the fact I overthink when it comes to things. I try to make things even more complicated. When, you could just there's simple issues to everything. It's like, I want to do a whole bunch of stuff to the overlay to make it fancy. All I needed to do was add a hammer. And I don't know how many compliments I've gotten so far about the fact that people have had the ability to hit me in the head repeatedly just by scrolling their mouse across the screen. This is two members of our meat division. Anyone talk about if any of the WWE cuts are likely to show up at AEW? No, we haven't brought that up yet. And I know that I did a special one-off there a couple weeks. What was it, last Thursday? When the first set of cuts happened. Oh, this is going to be fun. Claudio and Cage. This is the difference between functional muscle and bodybuilding muscle. It's a little too early to surmise what's going to happen with all these cuts, but... And the majority of the people that got cut from NXT itself are also on the 90-day contract, so we're basically looking at Christmas right now before any of these people can sign anyway. Love to see Aaliyah and Dana Brooke in AEW, that is, if they want to grow the women's... Yeah, like... I got a feeling... And here's another thing, and they just flashed on the screen. I think the fact that Julia Hart pulled a rating that she did on Saturday. Like, Tony's not stupid. He reads the numbers. And one of the numbers that's on there is the fact that the women's segment for Collision on Saturday drew the biggest number of the night. And that was Julia Hart leading that. And if she could do it again, like, I have a very strong feeling that the main event match for tonight is going to be the women's match. Because I got a feeling the main event of the show is going to be the Swerve and Adam Page contract signing at the end here. So I'd love, like you said, I'd love to see Aaliyah and Dana Brooke here. I got a weird feeling, and I know it isn't part of the cuts, but I got a weird feeling that we're going to see Matt Riddle in AEW for some weird reason. Mainly because there's such a PWG connection with the Bucks and Omega there. But in terms of the cuts there, I got a feeling most of those are going to end up on the indie scene. Riddle's too much of a headache with baggage. Well, the only thing that I could say to that, and there's actually proof, I believe it was the day after that they said he was no longer working with WWE. He was actually filming promo videos with his porn star girlfriend. And the preview videos were on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure it was a preview to a porno. So maybe he's going that way. And if that's the case, good on him. But Maximum Male Models, Boogs, and Elias. I'm going to take Boogs out of that list. Just because he was responsible what happened. And the fact that he said it was all Vince, it was all a power play, that Triple H didn't want him and Vince did. And the fact that he's stirring the pot the way that he is, I don't know if he'd go be a good fit. Yeah, it's the potential drama there. Like, I'm looking at Boogs there, and don't get me wrong, Guggenheim has got oodles of talent. And he's got that throwback, and let's face it, if AEW wants to put a meat division together, there's a potential for a meat division. And Vic, I see you're throwing out the bro. It's going to be like, bro, oh. I shouldn't do that well, so. Maximum Male Models, actually, they're going to be starting streaming tonight at 7 o'clock. They've actually been still working together on a Twitch stream themselves. And when was it? Sunday I popped in there. So it actually was a lot of fun watching them. And it was a great stream to watch, and they're highly entertaining about a lot of things, and they actually talked about a lot of the offers that they've been receiving. They could audition in Maximum Male Models with Dalton and the boys. Yeah, that could be a fit in ROH. I look at this right now, and do we want to throw another 6 or 7 wrestlers into a roster where we're complaining that not enough people are getting TV time? I think Elias would be a gimmick that you definitely could use. And I think the crossover appeal for the fact that he actually does produce some great music, I think they could use that as well. Like, let's not fool ourselves here. Warner Brothers Discovery, if they could find talents to work all the way around and, help promote their brands on top of promoting the AEW brand. Oh, damn. I thought Claudio was going to go for a tombstone there. See, Nana's problem is he isn't doing the dance. Nana, get in there and do something. Seriously. But yeah, in terms of the cuts for WWE, a lot of those, like Ali, I could almost see going to New Japan first before showing up in a AEW scenario or Impact, maybe even Impact. I want to see some place where Ali is going to be able to flourish a little bit more. And while I think Ali would be great showing up in one of these promotions here in North America, I think he'd still be so awesome in Japan. Like, for lack of a better term, there is a way that he could end up being a little more. He's a polished version of what Ricochet was when he was down there. That's the biggest thing with a lot of these wrestlers that got taken out. And yeah, Zodiac, you got it right there. We need to get some of these wrestlers a little bit of time. Like, they've been those mid-card guys. Please get the win. Cheers. I just want to see Cage get the opportunity here. Now that he's lost the 6-man tag titles to the Young Bucks. By the way, that's the other reason I think Claudio's winning this. Claudio just rolls out of it. Wow. But yeah, Brian Cage actually a firelit. Yeah, like, here's the thing. Final Battle is actually going to be a hell of a pay-per-view too. Because a lot of people forget, like, there's been the talk about the 12 pay-per-views a year. They're doing a lot more pay-per-views than people think already. And they're talking about it as one company. They're not just talking about AEW having 12 pay-per-views. Yeah, there it is. Reversal. I like that. Can't do the 12-6 because his arms are too big. That is hilarious. Oh, no way. And Cage did the old-fashioned kick out at 3.5. That is some old school right there. So now we're going to get Nick versus Phoenix on next Wednesday. That's going to be a little bit of insane. Because we know Nick's not going to win it just because, you're not going to put 2 titles on one of the owners of the company. This is not completely indie yet. And they already did it with Omega, so I had to backpedal on that one real quick. Oh, they're gonna give the Righteous some time right now? Jackson versus Phoenix could be a spot fest? Yeah, absolutely. Sunday's going to be a lot of fun with this match. Because a lot of people haven't learned about the Righteous at all. Now that they're done their time in Impact and all their independent bookings and whatnot, and it's always been an interesting gimmick. It's a nice little spin off the Bray Wyatt gimmick. And I think there's a real taste for it here at this point, just because it brings back those memories. It makes you think about, when you do something that reminds you of something else. I got a feeling that's exactly what's happening here with the Righteous on a massive scale. To us that watched ROH or at least a little bit of ROH before. You already know what the Righteous is about and know the differences and whatnot. But if I'm a casual fan and I see what they're doing, I instantly think Bray Wyatt and I think money. Because that's what the gimmick looks like right now. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to change the titles on Sunday. I would, based on the scenarios that are coming up, I could see them starting to filter out the, I could see them losing the ROH titles right now, because having Adam Cole with one set of ROH titles and the Young Bucks and Hangman Page having the other set of the tag titles, I don't know if that's settling too well with... Yeah, I don't watch ROH and thought that. I could see it being thought as too soon as well. Yeah, that's true. If there is that risk where you could have it as too soon. But I also think if you go through it and let it play out, give it a chance, you're going to see the differences. Because this is less cult and more Southern Baptist priest. I think is the best way to put it. It's still a cult, don't get me wrong, but it's a little bit more... Bray tried to take everything up to the 19th level, and these guys are maybe around the 12th or 13th in terms of how far they are out there. So I think that there's a way they could dance that. I was about to say, but you repeat yourself. Yeah, I have a tendency to do that too. Brain's overthinking lately, so sometimes I overthink my thoughts once in a while. Like I said, that's Tony Khan's biggest problem as well. So I will say that you also have to look at the see what they do in the ring. That's the other thing. Oh, okay. Meant the cult versus Southern Baptist. Okay, so we're basically on the same page there. So if Adam's in a cast, does MJF just have to defend the title against everybody? I would assume that, or else he'd have to come up with another partner. And we know MJF doesn't have any other friends. The only thing I'm waiting for here in this segment here, Adam! Adam! I love how they change the light like that. See, if you... Oh, so they're going to try and do the whole segment while he's sitting down. All right. This might be the most entertaining part of the show. That's the scary thought right now. I will say this last match was pretty exciting between Cage, Claudio, and Nick Jackson. I'm sorry, Jeff is a good palate cleanser, but You better be careful. That's a Bible Belt state there, or a Mormon state. Adam! Speaking of cults, yeah. Oh my. So does that mean they got to forfeit the titles? We have a Growing Up Gaming episode on Patreon about being Mormon. Yeah. Well, freaky deaky douchebags. What a bad break for Adam Cole. All right. Well, at least the Twitch streams will be built up. By the way, hi Darth Mick. Good to see you tonight. Here it is. Adam! Adam! That's got to be his new entrance music. What is he wearing? Pray Saturn, pray Saturn, pray Saturn. All right. So here's the thing. I want to know, chat, what do you guys think of this theory? What if that ankle isn't broken? This is how they're going to end it right now. Hot Roddy. Oh, this is an interesting change of events here. So now, could we be getting Jay White out here? Jay White MJF, let's go. If we can get this match. But yeah, we're only going to get 4 matches tonight. And these promos are, I could say they're not the worst, but we're so used to getting 5, 6, 7 matches in 2 hours. This is a very match light episode of Dynamite tonight. Could MJF have to wrestle twice tomorrow? We're getting some raw ass promos, yeah. Problem is, these promos when they get out there versus being in the back pre-recorded, time gets stretched out automatically because everybody's trying to feel the crowd, right? Okay. The sweet exotic accent. Okay, that I don't mind this. Rock hard, cock strong, always cocked. Okay. Ha! Gotta bring up. No, that's weed. That's Riddle's thing, isn't it? That's weed. God, I'm an idiot sometimes. Now we got a weed chat in the crowd. That's great. Wow. All right. We're going to go with the insults. This is a good old-fashioned promo battle. And a pubic hair chant. So, yeah, it said Blake.
One more for the good guys.
Beast Slayer 7, thank you for joining the Players Pit. Welcome. I hope you're doing well tonight. Just hanging out, watching a little Dynamite, listening to this lovely promo going on. Yeah, this is where we were talking, like, MJF's problem is sometimes when he goes on his promos, it's a 10-minute promo that should go down to 7. But some people like steak. What do you worry about? But how you doing tonight, Beast Slayer? Hope everything's going well for you. You gotta admit, MJF, even though these promos are taking a little long and getting a little annoying, he's got that crown in the palm of his hand. Hey, vegans are going to love that right now. All right. One word and you jump the shark here, Max. Come on, get it back online. Haven't had time to watch either WWE regularly since SummerSlam 2023. I'm back watching wrestling full time. And The Rock is back while I'm around, just even once. And he pooched it. But I'm glad you're checking out the wrestling again here. So is he going to get tofu chance for the rest of, of all time now? Or it's new the Edge might sign a cunt. I'll be frank with you, Beast Slayer. I don't know if I'm going to believe that until I actually see him walk out. When it comes to Edge. Because Edge is in the driver's seat of what he wants to do. Like, for all those reports that came out and said that WWE refused the contract, Edge came right out and said, I have a contract in my inbox. If I want to sign it, I will. So, all right, are we going to get a rebuttal here? I'll get back to the Edge topic here in just a moment here, because we were just actually talking about releases earlier. And who's going to show up at AEW and whatnot. Personal opinion, Edge should stay WWE, retire at Mania 40, handing over the World Heavyweight Championship to a young talent. Maybe, but I think they got bigger plans for that championship right now, and I honestly feel that Shinsuke might be the guy to take the title. And I don't think Edge is going to be the one to take it off him. I think Shinsuke is going to be the one to pass it along. Okay, Miz. We've had two Miz references for two different wrestlers tonight. Okay. Okay. He's trying. This crowd is having none of it. Jay actually built up a little bit of heat there. I'm impressed. All right. This promo's going on about 15 minutes. No one believes Jay White will beat MJF. So, do we get this in full gear, or are they going to do it sooner? And this is where Switchblade walks away. And Switchblade almost misses the ropes there. That's always great. All right, finish the segment, go away. Because they just got 15 minutes there, 20 minutes there. The first half of that, I feel we could have done in a backstage promo. The part with Adam Cole there. So Chris, So Christian used the old-fashioned... Two out of three falls, all right. Okay. You like that one by Switchblade? I think he made it enough that he built up the crowd enough during that promo to make it a match. Do I think that Switchblade has a chance in hell of winning over MJF? No. More from the corporate side, more than just what a match would be. I think it'll be a hell of a match. I think Max has proven that he can pretty much do anything. Sorry, just listening to... His uncle's dead. I love how they always... It's not easy to rebuttal an MJF promo and keep interest. The one thing I found about it, Vic, and the one thing I enjoyed about it is the fact that it grew. Like Jay found a way to increase the hate for him. It got to that plateau. I personally, like I said, I personally feel that the first half with MJF and the Righteous and Adam Cole in that whole segment, that could have been done in the back. Then MJF just comes out and says, look, I'm going to be defending this title in a handicap match against the Righteous on this Sunday, and I need all your support, blah, 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 right? Wow. Sorry, I don't mean to, hold back on one promo to come out with another. So the women are getting the main event spot tonight. Well, the main event match. Like I said, probably the main event spot is going to be the contract signing between Swerve and Paige, but I digress. Do we see Edge come out to help even the sides? No. I'll be honest, I don't see Adam Copeland or anything to that respect anytime soon. I don't think it makes sense. Why would you put him in a mid-card feud? He's one of your hottest assets you could pick up right now. And putting him in a mid-card angle with Christian? Like, if you're going to do it, you're going to get it to tag up. Nick Wayne is also a local to Seattle. So you got Darby and Nick who are both going to be there. And I think there's a way that you can get both of them over. I could almost see Zodiac, I think you got a great idea there. I could almost see Perry coming out to help Christian. And then he could talk about how... Yeah, exactly, Zodiac. If Edge comes out for Christian this weekend, it's because Edge wants to. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be simply... I think Christian's going to take the first two falls are going to be a disqualification pin kind of thing, where Christian sort of whaps Darby with a chair, son gets DQ'd, loses a fall, pins Darby, gets the second fall kind of thing. I just don't see it being anything more level than that. I just, it's nuts. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that on Saturday when we talk our AEW preview show hosted by Beercade. But Jay White versus MJF is probably going to be the... It's confusing why they do that promo here, because I got a feeling that's going to be the fight that we're going to set up for Full Gear. Do they last 2 months to put that feud on? If you could slowly build that up so that we could get the get a Switchblade MJF match, the main event, Full Gear in LA, I think that would be an absolutely spectacular time. Do I think that Switchblade is going to cost MJF the ROH tag titles on Sunday? Now I do. Now I totally do, because Adam won't be there to help because he's got to get this surgery. And if it's legit, guys, I just want to say, all the respect to Adam Cole, but he is injury prone, and that's something we really need to worry about. Wow, did they time out those entrances well? Oh no. Oh no, please, why? Now, the reason I say why is because, the thing I hate the most is when a four-way match or a three-way match turns into one of these glorified two people in the ring at all times, everybody else is popping out, right? So, but yeah, I'm totally going to give my thoughts, and I rarely give predictions, but since Andre's not going to be available this Saturday, four-way tag. Okay, so this match makes a lot more sense now. This sets up a preview for the Wrestledream card, which... All right, and now this is starting to make a little bit more sense why we have this match. And, in WWE, you're always having these kind of matches where you have one half of the team show up and have a singles contest, or in this case, they're having a four-way to set up a four-way, right? Freaking Gunn. Austin, seriously. Just wait. Uh-oh, the glove is coming off. You had to do a two-handed catch. Seriously. You want to impress me? Do the one-hand catch there, Alex. Let's go. Ew. He just put the glove on. So yeah, we got two segments left here for tonight. It's the women's match with Willow and Julia. It's contract signing. I got to ask you guys, and I know we're not near the finish yet, but at the same time, are we, have you felt that this show dragged at all? I think it might have dragged a little bit during the MJF promo. Yes, too many promos, yeah. Like I said, if we would have got rid of the Adam Cole part of the promo there, like I get it, getting Adam Cole out there, getting the quick cheesy pop. But for me, it didn't feel. It felt like that was about 5 minutes too long. And this very well could be an issue with what happened with Moxley, right? Because could you see possibly there being a tag match here tonight instead of a singles, with Fenix being the international champion? And if Moxley was supposed to retain, you have Fenix available for this match instead, right? And then possibly you don't have the international title on the card, or you maybe could and just, you know, I'm sure there's enough opponents you could throw out there to feed to Moxley for another victory here the week before a pay-per-view. But if I'm hearing rumors that Moxley's injury also affects the pay-per-view, maybe, and just hear me out, this Nick Jackson Brian Cage match they might have taken Claudio, or they could have kept Claudio in there. And that could have set up a match for Sunday. Like, there's a lot of stuff we won't know until later on about what. I'd be really curious to see, like, years up the road, if Tony Khan would come out and say what original plans were for certain situations. I don't think he'll ever admit to anything right now. And like we were saying before, we do find that it's really hard for Khan to pivot when things like this happen, and shows like this are going to be part of it. And I will say this. When it comes to mic time with wrestlers, if you're going to tell a wrestler that he's going to get 20 minutes on the mic, he's going to take 20 minutes on the mic. He'll ask for 40 if he can. Promoters got to cut down and say, no, you only get this amount of time. I've dealt with this many times with personal experience. And it's ultra frustrating sometimes when wrestlers take a little bit too much time, but then your show just starts to drag. And of course, with TV, you can't have that because, well, frankly, some other bit's going to get cut, and usually for the last while, it's been the women's match getting their times cut. And that and let's bring it back here to about a conversation we had about an hour and a half ago here. That very well could be the part where Serena Deeb was pissed off, is the fact that a lot of times when the MJF promo or the Jericho promo or certain matches, namely a Jericho match, would go long, you would have the women's match being the one getting cut for time, which is absolutely stupid. Because we've seen before, a lot of the other matches should be the ones that have it. Oh, good. You got a guy down in the ring and you go, okay. I guess if you don't figure you're going to get a guy in the pin, you're not going to worry about that. So that makes sense. Ramsberg, what are you doing? All right. I do love the new spot now where wrestlers are rolling through after missing that jump. Because if you land flat and you stay flat, you could blow out your knees very easily. At least at least that's what I've seen. I don't know, maybe I could talk to some wrestlers about it to see if it's a little more accurate, but in my opinion, it seems that you have oh God. And a destroyer out of nowhere. And a half destroyer. There's a full destroyer. And again, trying to go over the backdrop, and nobody let him do it. Destroyer number 3. Okay, Colton, it's your turn to hit the destroyer. Nope. That's a slow motion destroyer, wasn't it? Jesus criminy. Everybody gets hit with a destroyer. Oh my. Glad the crowd's picked up a little bit. So here's a question for you guys. I want to ask you guys ahead of time before we get to Sunday, or even to my show on Saturday. Who do you got winning that 4-way tag between these 4 teams? Because basically it's a Money in the Bank tag title shot, for lack of a better term. Do we get the Bucks for the opportunity for number 3? Do we get the Lucha Brothers finally getting a chance against FTR? Do we get the young team of Orange and Hook? Or do we get the Guns again? Who, if people forget, FTR won the titles off the Guns. The Guns didn't have it for long. And everybody's kicking out because nobody knows who exactly is pinned there. That's hilarious. So yeah, in terms of too many promos, I do agree, but at the same time, could this be a safe way of going? You do a lot of promo heavy stuff right before the pay-per-view. It's a double-edged sword. People get bored for being a part of that. But there's also a point that you keep everybody on your roster safe. And I know this sounds crazy, but this just comes out of my thoughts from WWE 2K GM mode when we were playing it. Can you find some future feuds? Can you find some secondary matches to fit a pay-per-view so that your pay-per-view people are smart or are ready to go? Smart enough to work themselves through a good situation. Oh. All right, so everybody's hit their finisher. I'm assuming a sneaky roll-up is how they're going to finish it. And we knew that spot was coming. Super kicks for everybody. Clotheslines for days. Oh, Orange missed. We didn't miss that. All right, so can we be confident in saying Orange and Hook are not going to win the 4-way on Sunday? Because if you're going to win the preview match, you usually don't win the main match unless you're that overly dominant. All right, so yeah, we're getting the women's match come up next, and they've actually built up this feud a little bit in our, I believe it was Collision and Rampage. And they're going to give it a little bit of time here on Dynamite, which I know we're all torn about the fact that they only get one women's match on Dynamite for 2 hours versus WWE giving, well, let's face it, WWE isn't really doing that hot with it either outside of NXT. I will say this, there was an absolutely excellent match between Asuka and Io last week on SmackDown, but if you look at Raw this week, what was it, 2 matches in maybe 4 minutes total time in 3 hours? I'm not going to give WWE any more benefit of the doubt than I am AEW right now. NXT, I'll give a pass because they've been doing a lot of work. Except they're copyright guys who can't check out people's music to see if any other wrestlers are using it. For those that weren't here earlier, Thea Hale got some new music on NXT, and it is Jody Threat's theme from Impact Wrestling. So either Threat's no longer in Impact, or somebody up on the I know they really want to push him, but I need a break from a lot of AEW people. Orange Cassidy, Darby Jericho. Feel like they're, yeah. And that's the interesting thing right now, because if you move yourself over, like, I'm more and more, I'm getting the urge to pick up TSN Plus to watch Collision on Saturdays, just because it seems like every time you talk about Collision, it's just a home run show. And it sucks that it's on a Saturday night because, well, frankly, the Saturday night spot at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain is just, it's horrible. It should be, it should be 4 o'clock, personally. It should be a couple hours before. You can lead into most of your sporting events that are going to be going on at night. Like, I know a lot of time, like Hockey Night in Canada here starts at 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain, but you still have that hour. And if you have a lot of good stuff in that hour, people will stay for the next hour and miss the first period of the hockey game because there's definitely lots more hockey to go. Baseball, on the other hand, things run through a lot quicker, but I digress. It's also going to be tough here the next couple weeks because Saturday is the last day of the regular season for MLB. And then from there, they're going to start the playoffs, which things are not going to be going... things are not going to be going well for any professional wrestling at that point. Like, you've seen the numbers for Raw, you've seen the numbers for SmackDown, you've seen the numbers for Collision. Dynamite, for the most part, has been unaffected. Because the only thing that's going on right now outside the usual is the odd MLS match. Oh, and what do you guys think of Malachi putting out a thing on Instagram today saying he doesn't know why he isn't getting any singles matches right now? He's a little upset about it too. And I'll be honest, I don't mind that if I'm a promoter. Oh, okay. Statlander and Hart on Sunday. That'll be worth it. He's not getting singles matches so Darby can make another appearance with Sting. Fair enough. Overall, like, even if a wrestler's getting out there and he's putting something out there saying that he doesn't appreciate the fact that he doesn't get enough time on TV, and enough people come around and support him for that. That tells me as a booker, I gotta find some way to get him involved. Now, I don't know if Tony's that smart to think that way. We've already discussed this earlier. It's even with the women's matches. We've discussed it earlier, and that we need a little bit more out of our roster here. And Julia Hart is a complete example of what you could do if you just give her time and let her go. Oh, and you're going to see the bruise on that eye. Oh, my. She got pirate eye, folks. Ow. Like, I don't care who you are, that's going to hurt. But when you weigh like 100 pounds soaking wet, and you get hit with a frying pan like that, ow. Over the top. Yeah, nice suplex. But yeah, you look at Willow, like her and Athena, that pay-per-view that they did together was just absolutely great. And like Tony Khan's gotten a lot of signs that his women's division could produce. But at the same time, I know we were talking about this before. Hart's come a long way. Where's Penelope Ford? All of her matches were... Zodiac, I'll be honest with you. If you go back, if the match was kept basic by Penelope, it was actually a good match. If it wasn't, then fire comparatively. Yeah, well, yeah, that might be a smart way of putting it, comparatively. Like, ever since that match with the Bunny and Penelope versus Anna and Ty, that street brawl that they had on a New Year's Eve, I don't know if I've really seen a match from Penelope that gives me faith to have her lead a match on TV. If it's a tag match, maybe when you get more people involved, but that's the biggest problem we have right now. Like, it's a catch-22. You got to get the wrestlers out there for the exposure and to give them a chance. But at the same time, if you give them a chance and they flub, then the sponsors say, well, why do we need you here? Like, you're taking away good screen time from people that could use it. But it's just like you said with guys like Orange Cassidy, Darby, and Jericho. I'm so glad I'm not seeing the Outcast tonight. I'm not seeing, as much as I love her, I love seeing that Britt Baker's not on tonight. Even Sky Blue is starting to get a little bit more. I don't mind her as much for the fact, in terms of the amount of appearances, but if she's if you're using the same 5 or 6 ladies and you have a roster of 20-25, then yeah, I'd be a little bit upset as well, but we should see Saraya, though. She's a champ. All depends on what you're doing with the title. Just like you expect to see MJ. I'll be honest, if I'm not seeing a title feud with MJF, I don't want to see a champ. If you have a story for the champ, get the champ on there. Realistically, you should have a program for the champ most times. But I'll say right now, for the next 2 months, like, we have 2 months until our next major pay-per-view for AEW. And that's Full Gear coming up November 18th. Could they give a couple weeks to to cool things off, to get them off screen. This is that whole, do we give our wrestlers a break deal? Because if you're actually looking to have long-term champions, that's fair, but she should be the center of conversation show somewhere. Here's the thing, they're making the TBS title a little bit more important with the fact that they're talking about how Julia's going to be on the pay-per-view against Chris Statlander on Sunday. Now, do we have any sort of feud now that the Toni Storm Saraya match has been blown off last week at Grand Slam? I'll be honest, I don't really see anything really forming right now. And I am sticking by my guns as much as my guns can be stuck to. Mercedes Vernado is going to show up at Full Gear at the Staples Center. Oh, and we've already got. So Friday they're going to be talking women's title. So if you just saw that, we were just talking about it. We got Hikaru Shida versus Ruby Soho, is it? And the winner gets a shot at Saraya at the October 10th Dynamite, which I'm assuming. We're going to have to switch our schedule up as well. And this will be a DQ. Oh, no, never mind. It was great, but Dutch was sort of got with Jade, which was when the TBS was much bigger than the world. That's fair enough. It would be nice to see both titles get the importance that they need to have. But I totally see your point. You don't want the secondary titles outside the big one, but let's face it, in the dark times of WWE, and I say dark times when I mean early 90s, the Intercontinental title was typically the more prestigious title over the heavyweight championship. Like that reign of Diesel compared to what happened with Brett and Davey. And the fact you have Warrior and Savage is... Okay, that was a little bit of impressive here. The crunch by Julia getting herself up to that position to avoid and then hitting that moonsault. Now she... Oh, okay, here comes Statlander to make the save. Here she comes. I love the fact that Statlander doesn't give a crap that Brody King's in her way. She's not really thinking about it. Once again, I don't see Julia Hart winning this, but I do think it's going to be a hell of a match. And the camera goes black. And all right, so built up better than Switchblade. Well, let's hope. All right, so we didn't miss much. They went to black for a couple seconds there, and all right, so Danielson Sabre Jr. I got a feeling that the main event is going to end up being Bryan and Sabre. Shibata versus Kingston. Okay. And you got to think there's got to be somebody that's going to come out and help. Could that be the return of Kyle O'Reilly? FTR versus Aussie Open. That's going to be a hell of a match. And then Statlander, Julia Hart. Just saw a preview of that. We saw a preview of the four-way here tonight. So they're giving us about 10 minutes for this promo to finish things off. Could we have the TNT Championship be the main event with Darby at home? Because Wrestledream here is sort of an in-between show. It's nothing... I don't want to say it's not a major show, but it's an Inoki tribute show. That's what it's supposed to be, right? Oh, and here we go. I think more people are interested in seeing Nana than they are seeing Swerve. Oh, heel move. Biggest dick move of the night. Nana not allowed to dance. Oh my God. The horror. The horror. Where is it here? Swerve, you bastard. Seriously. But yeah, in terms of who should win this, I think Swerve should. We were talking about those people that are at home. This is another one that's at home. I'm even seeing Twitter, X, blow up right now. Came for the Nana and no. So, yeah, in terms of predicting this, I'll give you a spoiler. I do think Swerve wins this. I think he's got more to grow out of this than we have with MJ. Exeter. My movement is Blue Sky. By the way, if anybody needs a Blue Sky invite, I do have 4 available that can be used. So feel free to DM me if you want, or PM me, whatever it's called. Yeah, I know. I know. I knew exactly what you were getting there. No. I wasn't buying it. I was trying to deflect it. I think the fact that I'm not going to get too much into talk about social media like that, but I actually like the fact that it gives you invites for a gradual increase, because it basically can show if you're going to have somebody bring in a head, you could go back and find out who brought in that head and find out they're not going to be getting more invites to bring them in. So it sort of leaves a little bit of accountability for things. So I do appreciate it that way. But yeah, I get it too. It's just, I do have Threads. I do have Blue Sky. I barely use Blue Sky, and I use Threads when I remember it. I still use the Exeter. Sorry, I'm not going to change that right now. We're trying to keep it somewhat PG this week. Country club mentality? Yeah. I think it's more, yeah, in a way I could see where you're coming from with that. But I'm also thinking there's a lot of people that I don't want on my social media. Period. That's what I got a block button for, but the block button is available before you even sign up. kind of thing. You notice that Swerve actually is going to make Hangman go past him? Unless he's going to go around the ring and shake hands and kiss babies first? Because normally if I'm going to do something, I'm going to set it up so that the guy who's sitting on the farthest is going to come in first so they don't have to touch each other, right? What do you think of the build of this match? I think it's actually been built very well. Promo might have been a little exaggerated, a little long, but thanks, Renee. We just had that told to us. All right. I was going to say, if Hangman was a member of the community of some other place where it had an NBA team, that would probably be best. Come out with Oklahoma City Thunder colors. How about them Bucks? Oh my God. Somebody call the cops. The Bucks got a little bit of theft there. Seriously. And apparently, Drew Holiday has already asked for a trade out of Portland. That's hilarious. He might be the guy that ends up in Toronto after all this. But he wants to go to Contenders, so I don't know if that's... Let's just say the Bucks are now what the... Oh, trust me, Damon literally looks great in the orange and blue of the TT Mike the Ref Playas basketball team on NBA 2K24. He looks excellent there. He's my point guard on my salary cap team, so. And yes, I will throw this in just a minute. But, Milwaukee now is what New York wanted, Brooklyn wanted a few years ago. Hell, last year. Okay. Okay, I can see this. This ain't bad. This is that homegrown story that you're talking about with Paige, right? I sure as hell hope so. I really do hope that we get the best of both these guys. Those gold teeth are amazing. Ah, finally, yes. Somebody had to bring up the Broncos this week, and I'm glad somebody did. Sorry, the evil laugh just came out on that one. Yep. So hopefully this is a way we can get... Come on. Nice correlation. Okay. There was only one that you didn't. And that was because somebody else sort of got in the way and he's no longer with the company. Whoa! Oh, did you see that look of coward, like not cowardice, but he almost looks scared. Well, somebody's got go get a rubella tetanus shot or whatever. He got injected with ink. And we're gonna fade to black on that. That's not bad. That's a not bad finish here. What the? Mass people? Who are they beating up? Wait. What did we just see there? What did we just see to wrap that up? We just had four masked people, one with MJF's devil mask, beat up Jay White. Could this be after that? Like, it can't be simply enough that is MJF, is it? That wouldn't be it. Why? Sorry, folks, like, you want to leave somebody on a cliffhanger. Now MJF's got to defend after. I got a wholehearted feeling that he is going to lose the ROH tag titles, and we'll talk about that. Yeah, overthinking again. I don't know whether that's MJF or someone. This is where you look at a booker and you're like, who did he put there? Could this be MJF's guys? Or, yeah, MJF's been working double time in all many different ways here. So, all in all, like you said, not a very... When it comes to wrestling, it wasn't an overly wrestle-filled show. It was a lot of promos. Some of them I feel might have went a little long, especially the Adam Cole, MJF, Jay White in the middle. But that ending there, like, I know that, like, once you said overthinking, like, you're right, Zodiac, but at the same time, there are so many things involved here. Where was Bullet Club? Don't they usually hang out together? The devil mask. Could it be a devil worshiper, or could it be the devil himself? There could be a million different things going on here, so it's going to be interesting. I think that's going to be where we lead off next week. I don't think this shows up at Wrestledream, but I do think they discuss it on Dynamite next week. But yeah, like, is it going to sell pay-per-views? I think that last segment might help sell a few. The Julia Hart win over Willow should help. The tag match we know is the 4-man or the 4-team tag we know is going to be Insanity personified. And the one thing I find interesting about this pay-per-view is right now there is no real hardcore match, like what we define as hardcore anymore. We don't have any of those on the card again. Are we getting into a little bit more of a settling down and making the bloodbath matches mean a lot more? Very well could be. And I'm all for it if that's the case.